This video, I'm going to show you how to build your own leads and estimating sales team, even if you're a small operation or a one-man company. No, you don't need tons more money, and no, you don't need a lot more time. Over the last 10 years, I started and I've been running my own leads and estimating firm where we're currently delivering 50 to 70 projects per week for our clients. I started as a one-man show and now we have 11 estimators. And you can copy this system into your business today. Imagine if you could bid 5 jobs or 10 jobs or even 20 jobs a month. How would that transform your business? By the end of this video, you're gonna be able to do that easily. As I wrote the script to this video, I gave myself a challenge. I have to be able to do this as a one-man operation with limited funds. With tons of money, we can do anything, right? But this video is designed for the one-man entrepreneur. So I've designed this process where it's not going to be done overnight. We're going to build a team that's going to grow with you. Just trust me on that. So this is the exact blueprint I want you to follow. First, we're going to start with getting starter leads for our system. Then we're going to hire our first estimator. Then we're going to get our cost and estimating software. And then we're going to set up our follow-up and closing system. Ready, and let's go. Step 0, get a small lead system going to feed the machine. I say 0 because before we even build our lead system, we need to build our estimating system. But to even be able to estimate those jobs, we need some leads coming in. Now I have a bunch of videos on lead generation like this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I don't want to get into the actual strategy on how to do lead generation because it's not the purpose of this video, but we do need to get some starter leads going to feed our estimating machine. So in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to give you 2 powerful ways to get leads fast. Ready, and go. The free way is that we're going to hop onto Procore Network and the Blue Book, and we're going to find our perfect clients. Then we're going to call them and we're going to get on their bid list. And the faster way is to use Capstone Commercial Leads, which is our lead service where we find you clients and projects to bid. A lot of our clients are too busy or they don't know how to do the prospecting, so now we do it for them. We find you private projects that aren't on the public bid boards like Construct Connect and Dodge, so our leads actually have way less competition. So if you're interested, here's the link to set up a meeting with my team, and I'm also going to put it in the description below. Did I do that in 30 seconds? Yes. Once we have our starter leads coming in, now we need to build out our estimating system so we can capture all those new leads coming in. Number 1, we're going to hire our first estimator. Number 2, we're going to get our estimating software. And number 3, we're going to build out our pricing database. All right, let's start with the first one. Number 1, let's hire our first estimator. Here you're going to have the option of hiring in-house, or you're going to have the option to hire a remote estimator somewhere in the United States. You can use a freelance overseas guy, or you can use a professional estimating firm. Now, I said I designed this video so you won't need tons of money. You will need some, but it's not as much as you think. The biggest issue that I have with an in-house employee or even a full-time remote guy is that it's going to cost you close to $100,000 a year, plus vacation, medical, payroll taxes. You're going to need an office. You're going to need to buy computers. So my professional recommendation is do not hire an in-house estimator. What we want to do is either use a freelancer that we could train, or we can use a professional estimating firm that with a click of a button can do your estimates for you. Maybe like Iron Builders. My team does over 4,000 estimates per year for GC, subs, developers, architecture firms. We've done over $5 billion in projects since we started. Here's the thing, no matter what, even if you hire a freelancer, you still have to train them. No estimator comes ready to go right off the shelf. So option number 1 is we hire a freelancer. An American freelancer is going to cost about $70 an hour. Option number 2 is we can get an overseas freelancer from Upwork, but please do not use Fiverr. Now here we have to be really careful. If you get an overseas guy, they can actually do a really good job, but you still have to train them and you still have to always check their work, even if they have 100% rating. I've hired and fired over 100 or more estimators, and I've actually trained and I've kept my core 11 guys. The beauty is if you find the right person, you're gonna get a lot of skill for the price. So here's how you do it. Head over to Upwork, post the job, and wait. You're gonna get tons of applications pretty much almost overnight. The best estimators in my experience are from Europe or from the Philippines. The trick is when you do get those proposals back, you're gonna filter by 90% rating and up. They have to have billed $10,000 or more in Upwork, or they have to have done 1,000 or more hours in billable hours. That way you get the best of the best, cream of the crop. Now, even with that, I've used guys that are like 100% rating and they still aren't that good. So it's kind of hit or miss. You got to try the estimators and see who's good, and you do have to train them. So inside of my Construction Sales Academy, I actually have an entire section to train you and your team on estimating, on how to bid fast and at scale while maintaining really high accuracy. I actually have guys in my group that are using my estimating training to train their own freelancers. So basically it's like if I was training them. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about our Construction Sales Academy, I'm gonna put a link over here and in the description so you can check it out. Now, once we hire our estimator, the next thing we're gonna need to do is we need to give them a software to use. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get estimating software. We use PlanSwift in our office, but to keep the cost down, you can start off with a software called Bluebeam. This was back in the day before everybody started putting their softwares on a subscription. I remember paying $100 for the academic version of Bluebeam. Bluebeam is actually great to start with because it's the least expensive and you get a lot for your money. Bluebeam is about $330 a year. We have PlanSwift that's about $2,000 per license per year. Their pricing varies between $750 and $2,000 a year. And then we have Stack that's $3,000 per year. There are a bunch more, but these are the ones you can focus on. Now we have our estimator, now we have our software, and the final piece is the pricing. By the way, what software are you guys using for your takeoffs and what are you using for your estimating? Put it in the comments below. All right, next we're gonna build our pricing database. The easiest thing you can do is to actually get National Construction Estimator, which is a construction cost book from Craftsman Books. These guys publish labor and material rates for thousands and thousands and thousands of items in construction. They actually give you area modifiers to adjust the pricing based on different parts of the country. We use them as a starting point when we're doing our estimates, and we make our own additional modifications to the pricing based on field conditions, complexity, and things like that. And we actually research the material pricing from actual vendors ourselves as an additional layer of accuracy. Now, the trick to estimating with speed is converting all these numbers into unit prices. So like, for example, if you're gonna go buy drywall, and let's say it's a 4x12 sheet, we know that a 4x12 sheet is 48 square feet. And if you know that that board costs you $25 per board, then you just do the math. $25 divided by 48 square feet equals 52 cents per square foot. Now, obviously we got to add the tape and you have to add the screws and things like that. But for the most part, this gives you a solid material cost for this. So later, if you want to actually calculate what a full board is going to cost you, calculate the whole thing all in. The board cost, the tape, the screws, everything you're going to need to do that assembly. And you could do the same for framing. You could do the same thing for rebar. You could do the same thing for concrete. You're going to convert all these prices into linear feet, square feet, and counts. So now we finished building our database. So now we have our estimator, we have our software, and we have our pricing database. And now we throw a party. Congratulations, you just built your estimating system. If you're using an hourly freelancer, you can actually start off by bidding a few jobs a month, and then you can scale up on what you can afford. But now we have another problem. Crap, I thought we were done. Now we actually have to follow up on all these jobs. Don't make the same mistake that every single contractor makes. They just bid the jobs and then they forget. You need to work every single deal all the way through the end. Now, next, we need to build our sales system. In the next video, I'm gonna show you the exact process that I use to follow up and close millions and millions of dollars of projects. I literally give you a checklist of exactly what to do to follow up on those jobs. Go watch that video.